Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome back to Copenhagen, where it's time to meet our players. Ladies and gentlemen from Lithuania, Lucky D, Darius, Labanauskas. And now, ladies and gentlemen from England, it's Northie Richard North!
He just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know him, but fuck him. He knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure this click stays up. That means when he puts it down, time to pick it up.
Welcome back to the Danish Darts Open, the very first visit for the European Tour here to Copenhagen, and what a start we've had to the action. Rusty Jake Rodriguez, a 6-5 winner in a thrilling opening match against Willie O'Connor. Then Ryan Joyce dumping out Christoph Ratajski. Brendan Dolan beating Martin Schindler, and Jermaine Watermain reeling off 3 straight legs and surviving 3 match darts against Wayne Jones, but the machine gun won through to the second round tomorrow, and that is where this pair are hoping to be. Richard North, the man formerly known as the Mouth from the South, and the Lionheart, but I believe he's back to Northie now, against Lucky D, Darius Labanauskas of Lithuania, and joining me, Chris Murphy. What a lucky guy I am. Rob Malarkin alongside me.
Thank you very much indeed, Christoph. Nothing lucky about Labanauskas and the way he's gone about his business on the European Tour of late. He made his European Tour debut in Austria, where he fell in the second round against Mensur Suljovic. He had an opening round win in Gibraltar last time out as well. Qualified for this last night, came through the Nordic and Baltic qualifying programme. And we'll also see him later in the series as well, because he's qualified for Hamburg next weekend. He's also qualified for Hildesheim, the 10th European Tour event of the year. He's suddenly developed the knack of qualifying for these European Tour events. 2 matches he had to negotiate last night. Marco Cantilo was the man he overcame in the final round of qualifying. And a man who is making steady progress up the Pro Tour Order of Merit, and also the Order of Merit itself. Might not be too long before he cracks the top 100 in both.
Yeah, as is Richard North, who had a stellar debut season in the PDC last year, overshadowed only by the fact that one guy managed to win the World Championship in his debut season. But North is certainly a very, very capable player, and he had a run to the semi-final of the European Darts Open early this year, in which he defeated the aforementioned Rob Cross. Winner of this one will take on a winner on the Euro Tour already in 2018 in Johnny Clayton, the man that sits on the top of the Order of Ferrets. And North knocked out a 3-time world champion in qualifying, John Parts, one of his victims en route to this Danish Darts Open, Lee Bryant, the man he beat in the decisive match. Labanauskas is one of the few players alongside John Part that has a towel dangling from his belt, isn't it?
Yeah, just to doesn't save trekking back to the table every now and then.
And maybe he doesn't trust his opponent.
If you require 84.
84 for starters then. Has to go 14 bull, or should do. Is he considering not? No, he was just checking. Bullseye it is.
59. You require 145.
Yeah, taking no chances, going for the ball with North on 145. But North will not be taking out this 145. 75 away now.
87. Darius, you require 25.
Double 8 then for Labanauskas for the opener. It's just inside Darius, so double 4.
17.
North
You require
invited back to
58.
the hockey to take out this 58 for the opening leg. It would be a break of throw as well. And Richard North draws first blood in this first round match here in Copenhagen. As he said, Chris, he started the European Tour this year with a really good run to the semi-finals in Leverkusen, where he beat Rob Cross and Gerwin Price as well. But prior to this weekend, he's only qualified for one other European Tour event this year. That was the German Open, and he lost to Danny Noppert in the first round of that one. And domestically as well, he hasn't done a great deal either. He was a quarter-finalist at the third Players' Championship event of this year, but since Leverkusen, he's picked up only £3,000 in prize money.
85.
And a grand of that was from his first round defeat at the German Open as well. So he needs to pick himself up, I think, here this weekend. It's a good opportunity to do that. This is a stage where players can
100.
get themselves some big stage exposure, some significant prize money as well, just to get their campaigns back on track. And I certainly think this is the opportunity for Richard North and players like him to do that as well.
Yeah, only
140.
once has he managed to win more than a couple of matches on the Pro Tour since that semi-final run, which in truth didn't see him play his best darts, did it?
95.
It was one of those bizarre occasions, a bit like the Steve Lennon one where he reached the final in Zwolle, where we know what kind of stuff he can produce, and we've seen it many times without necessarily bearing fruit.
120.
But when he wasn't playing his best stuff, he managed to go deep into the tournament. But hey, I'm sure fans of teams in the World Cup football won't mind how they go in, just as long as they do.
Absolutely. By hook or by crook. Labanauskas for a 156 steal won't be.
Yeah, that would have been the 30-yard screamer.
You require 68.
Whereas Richard North has another.
Well, he's got a penalty, hasn't he, here? Or maybe a free kick on the edge of the
Maybe a
box.
free kick just outside the box with a two-man wall and the keeper stranded on the far post. 48 away. Oh, he's hit double 8 instead, so double 16 he wants now. Just next door.
52.
To carry on the analogy, that took a wicked deflection. Labanauskas on the break, for the break. Double top. Double 10.
Nicely done.
Darius Labanauskas.
It's a break back for Labanauskas, who I was really impressed with him in Gibraltar in his opening match. He played really well, I thought, against Jeffrey de Graaf. He beat him 6-4, hit 6 180s that day, averaged just under 96. And I thought he might have given Joe Cullen a
100.
Bit more of a run for his money in the second round, but he lost 6-1. It was fairly emphatic.
85.
Lost 6-1 to Sulovic in his second round match in Graz as well. Man who has become one of the BDO's most feared players over the past few years or so. He's made the quarter-finals of 3 of the BDO's major tournaments over the past 18 months or so.
180.
As that gets the crowd going a little bit.
Yep. First visit for PDC darts to Denmark, or the European Tour at least, but they all know that call.
57.
Yeah, 2 Danish players in action later today. They came through the local host nation qualifier last night. North looking to fill it up once again. And another opportunity for the Danish faithful to go through the routine.
Well, quickly becoming an unlikely fan's favourite here in Denmark, Richard North, by his ability to power in the big scores. Much tidier leg.
Richard, you require 56.
Could go out in 11 darts. A dozen will do.
Yeah. And the third leg, Richard North.
And he's finished off on 58, 68, 56. It's those well, it's the approach play that's been really good
Well,
from Richard North. The finishing hasn't been too bad either, and they've taken 2 of those opportunities, both with breaks of throw.
Yeah, it's a good point, that, because often we can wax lyrical about big checkouts. However, if you're going 140, 140, 140, you're not needing to take out huge combination finishes.
100.
3 matches left this afternoon following this. Former world champion Steve Beats against Adam Huckvale, who's getting a taste for European Tour darts of late. Then Barry Lynn, remember him from the UK Open a few years ago, taking on Chris Dobey, a finalist on the Pro Tour this year. And then a 3-time finalist, Jeffrey Disvan, who has a win to his name in 2018, up against the top-ranked player from the Nordic and Baltic region on the PDC Order of Merit, Madas Razmar.
Yeah, good stuff so far this afternoon, though, for the local fans who have come along for the first taste of European Tour darts in Scandinavia.
Another couple of Danish players to cheer for tonight. Brian Locken and the more well-known Per Lausen. Labanauskas looking at 130. Well, he knew what he was doing by stepping over there, didn't he?
He's stepping back the other way for the bullseye.
105.
Didn't look from our angle like that was much of an obstacle to get past. But he knew exactly what he needed to do. He knows what he'll need to do when he returns.
29.
And he may have even more in hand as well now. Scoreboard has just readjusted itself. It's 1-2-1 for North, but Labanauskas looking at double 8 here for a 2-2 scoreline. And a 4th break of throw.
17. Richard Jericho, 121.
Well, the approach play, as you said, had been fantastic up until this leg. Now, after 15 darts, he needed a big finish. He got nowhere near it.
31.
29 followed by 31. The wheels have fallen off in this leg for Richard North, and Labanauskas, well, it could be a 16, 17, 18 dart break of throw. It is 16.
Fifth leg, Darius to throw.
Well, it's got a similar pattern to the match between Ottomena and Jones. That one saw all of the first 4 legs go against the throw.
96.
In fact, we didn't get a hold in that till leg 8.
55.
During the Dolan-Schindler match as well, there was a sequence of 3 breaks of throw in the course of that one as well. Should have been 4, actually. Anyway.
134. 39.
Has been a few scrappy visits in quick succession here from Richard North, and that will be a worry for him.
47.
See a raise of the eyebrows in the background as he tries to get himself going again.
Yeah, 94 scored with his first 6 darts, but that's more likely from Richard North, just to get himself back on track in this 5th leg. Could well be that we find ourselves in a situation where a hold of throw proves decisive in this one, and Labanauskas is looking to secure just that. But once again, it's sluggish from Labanauskas just when he needs to try and step on the accelerator.
177.
That's much better from Richard North, and the trend of breaks could continue.
140.
Really has been ebbs and flows for North in this match. Bullseye it is. This would be a fantastic dart, and it is. A slight step to the left to open up the bullseye bed.
Richard to throw first.
And North pinned it dead centre for a 5th consecutive break.
North now looking to just really take control as early as he can in this leg and just try and give himself some breathing space. He may well feel he's got away with... He's had a couple of sloppy visits as Richard North, but he's still in a good position here, and I think he'll take a lot of encouragement from that.
Well,
it didn't do him any long-term damage.
Bunched together, haven't they, his bad visits and his good ones, and I guess that's when you get in a situation where your opponent runs away with legs, but then you absolutely blitz other ones.
By the same token, there has been just this little bit of a dip from Labanauskas in terms of his scoring as well.
120.
But for those scrappy visits for Richard North, it's not been a bad performance. His average is creeping up to around the 94 mark. And in a short format, having, there you see, just above 94, in a short format, having 4 or 5 scores of, well, below 40 he's had in the match, it shows that the rest of the stuff has been pretty decent.
One of the reasons his average is where it is, it could be a lot better or a lot better off, because he's struggling with his third dart average. It's significantly lower than the averages of his first two. So it's a case where North is scoring well with his first 2 darts. Let's just see what pans out here, or in the next stages of the match after this one.
Not quite sure what he's done there. Found the treble.
57.
Well, he's left himself double 2 after
Very
all that.
require 150.
Trying to hit the big 6 and found the treble 13, and this would rub salt into the wound.
114. Richard, you require 4.
A missed dart at double 18 for what would have been another break of throw. And a 150 checkout as it is. North is in the madhouse anyway.
2.
And he's not there.
Harris, you require 36.
Well, this time, the shaky visits have come right at the wrong time for Richard North.
Awkward now for Labanauskas, looking at double 9.
But
it's not awkward in the final reckoning. It's a 6th successive break of throw. And Labanauskas doing all the damage there with that attempt at 150 on the checkout. Missed his dart at double 18. Gifted the opportunity to come back when North failed to find double 1. And we're level once again at 3 apiece. And Labanauskas is out of the blocks with 140.
Well, a lot of damage was self-inflicted, wasn't it, from Richard North there? Because from 61... with 6 darts in hand, he managed only to get 1 dart at double 2 and 2 at double 1.
$62.
Yeah, it was strange. He hit a 15, didn't he? So that left him 46, and then he was quite plumb in that treble 13.
Yeah, he was going for the big 6, wasn't he?
It was a long way off.
A route that many players choose on that 61 is to go for the 25 to get 2 darts at double 18.
139. $91. There is a require 160.
And Labanauskas at 160. If he doesn't take it, North will look at 170.
Well, he could have found himself 4-2 down. As it is, he might well go 4-3 up here.
You require 170.
Unless North can take out the biggest finish of the lot, which he won't. Again, the first dart is off beam by some distance.
40.
And that's a concern for Richard North.
62.
They're not just missing, are they?
They're not missing, and it's creeping into his game on a more regular basis as well. That is a big concern. 52 away for Labanauskas then to get his nose in front for the first time in this match. And that's exactly where he is. Well, Labanauskas was the odds against outsider for this match. 5-4, thereabouts. North was 7-4 on also with the bookies, but we may well have an upset on the cards.
And Richard North may well be upset with himself.
130.
And the scoring has returned. Labanauskas finding the big numbers once again.
134.
Been a completely inconsistent performance
100.
from Richard North. Speak about consistency over periods of players' careers, when you look at their
81.
results over the space of a few months, but it's very rare in a short format match like this to see such a level of inconsistency.
Well, the averages are very much similar, but it's Labanauskas who has just raised his game while North has suffered a bit of a downturn. He's looking to get himself involved again here, though, and it's just very much in keeping with the way this match has panned out so far for Richard North today.
Labanauskas played at a similar level, a decent enough standard throughout the game, but it's all been about Richard North, really. This will be more than decent, though, from Lucky D. A long way off with that one, but yeah, it's been brilliant or bad, hasn't it, from North?
127.
Now, which will we see here with this 63?
Yeah, Labanauskas says his favourite checkout is 167. It was the biggest on his lakeside debut a few years ago, but it might not count for anything anyway because Richard North, well, he's somehow managed to salvage the situation there.
The answer to the question was brilliant. 180 followed by 63.
6 successive breaks followed by back-to-back holds of throw. Labanauskas frustrated there, I think, because North just came good and produced the big scores when he needed to.
Well, I was going to say, where would you place your 50p for the next visit? And the first start, plumbing the big one.
77.
Salvaged it somewhat there.
$57. 100.
Plenty of room for one more.
125.
Labanauskas has the slight advantage that he will have the throw in 2 of the last 3 legs, but it's the unpredictability of Richard North's performance that makes this match exactly that, unpredictable.
59.
There might be a slight opening here.
59 gets Labanauskas down to 160 again, but North looking to pounce all over that.
125.
Once again, it's that third and final dart.
It's a disaster, that last start for Richard North, because anywhere else really is on a 2-darter. Only going to get 1 dart at double to win the leg at best
80.
now when he returns.
Richard, you require 99.
Just have to stay straight. Can he make amends?
He's made life awkward for himself once again, not for the first time today, but that's a beautiful first dart. And he's now looking at tops.
59. Harris, you require 80.
He's made a few mistakes in this match, Richard North, but that one could prove yet to be the most costly. Because if Labanauskas takes out 80 here, then North will be at the point of no return.
You've shown the 9
And there it is. Labanauskas is now 1 away from the second round, and that meeting with the champion in Austria this year, Johnny Clayton, in the second round tomorrow.
Whoa!
But Richard North is having none of that whatsoever just at this moment in time. Living on the edge today, Richard North.
I find it baffling, bizarre, this performance from Richard North.
171.
Sublime response, because usually when a player throws so much filth like that during a match,
45.
it just continues and it knocks him out of the game completely, but he's still popped up on several occasions with big hits like that.
But the 180 is followed by a 45, and maybe the key here for Labanauskas is just to stay straight, but he too is deviating all over the shop. Labanauskas, you have to say, is under pressure in this 10th leg. It's on the north throw. It's all about the next leg if we do go that far for Labanauskas. I think he'd like to get the job done here and now, and he may well have the opportunity just to get himself back in control here.
Well, he's got the insurance policy of having the darts in that deciding leg, should we get that far, but I get the feeling it's all about Richard North still, because he's shown flashes of the brilliance that we know he possesses.
.43.
But he's also shown flashes of that, and too many of them. So it might have to be a flash of brilliance that saves his skin.
It may well have to be, but it's not going to happen for Richard North, and all he can do now is just stand back and just hope and pray that Labanauskas cannot take out this 58.
So should get 2 darts for the match. Will. Double top. Double 10.
38.
And now North has the chance to stay alive in this balmy encounter at the Danish Darts Open. Tops he wants. And tops he gets. And we are going all the way. 2 darts squandered for the win by Lucky D. Is it going to be Richard North? Lucky day in Denmark.
Well, for the 3rd time today, we are going the distance. Rusty Jake Rodriguez and William O'Connor 6-5. Jermaine Wassermain winning 6-5 against Wayne Jones. 11th leg.
100.
For Labanauskas and North as well. It's been that sort of an afternoon. It's been a tense afternoon on day 1 of the Danish Darts Open here in Copenhagen.
100.
And I wouldn't be too surprised if we had 1 or 2 more as well. At least. Sun plays at Sun so far. Labanauskas moves into pole position with a much needed and a very timely 180. The 5th of the match, and perhaps the most important one of the lot for Darius Labanauskas as well.
81.
Yeah. Got a vice-like grip on this leg, and indeed this match now, and it's tightening. Stranglehold on Richard North.
There's a chasm between these two now, and it could be very damaging indeed. Points on the floor. Not sure how many points on the floor. I don't think it would have made too much of a difference anyway.
I think it was 60, but I think little chance of it mattering.
Could well be all academic. 62 away. Double 16 then for Labanauskas. But he will be back with more opportunities in hand.
Well, that's a 3rd dart miss for the match. But North is not going to be applying any kind of pressure.
Darius requires 32.
So Labanauskas to set up a meeting with Johnny Clayton in the 2nd round tomorrow here in Denmark. That's 4 missed match darts. Make that 5. And make that 6. Finish line fever very much in evidence here.
How frustrating for Richard North that he's not there to punish. This time it will have to go for Darius.
140. Darius requires 16.
He's had lucky A, lucky B, lucky C. But lucky D eventually gets the job done. Crazy game between North and Labanauskas, but it's the latter that wins through to the 2nd round, where he will take on the winner of the Austrian Darts Open, Johnny Clayton. That will be tomorrow. 3 games to go this afternoon. Jeffrey Disvan against Madars Razma. Barry Lynn against Chris Tovey. Coming next is Adam Huckvale against the former champion of the world, Steve Beaton, when Darius has spoken to Dan.